LEAP presentation.
Yeah, also joining us tonight is our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Michelle Middleton, and Operations Director, John Degg. Enfield Public Schools received a grant and joined a network of schools that are participating in the LEAP, which stands for Learner Engagement and Attendance Program, which I know the two of them will explain more. And that's to reduce chronic absenteeism in our schools by providing additional resources.
So the LEAP program is a research-based, grant-funded opportunity to implement a relational multi-visit home visit program designed as an intervention for students who have missed or begun to miss too much school. So back in May, we were notified that we were eligible to apply for the LEAP grant. Districts were added based on the 21-22 and 22-23 student attendance data and the number of chronically absent students with high needs and the percentage of chronically absent students with high needs. So just for comparison, we're looking at some of the districts in our cohort. So Enfield didn't quite have the peak chronic absenteeism. We're that second from the left district. So you see some of the other ones had higher peaks. If you look at our 23-24, our most recent, we're roughly comparable with the other districts for our chronic absenteeism. Our peak was around 21% of students being identified as having chronic absence, and our 23-4 was down to about 18.7. This is higher than our pre-pandemic levels. So just a few key points about the LEAP program. This is a voluntary program. Parents will be contacted and can be declined to participate in home visitations. Other interventions will still remain in place. That's things like student attendance letters and so on. This isn't punitive visit or a well-being check. The program really is intended to support a family's educational goals for their students and build strong relationships between the family and school. No one's going out to just show up at a parent's house. All visits are scheduled and should have a reminder to the family prior to the visit. All home visitors are going to receive training through the LEAP program. We do intend to have the visits take place at the home or a community place of the family's choosing. We don't intend to have parents come into the school, and that kind of reinforces that there's no punitive measure here. And we have our additional higher tier supports when we work with youth and social services. Some of our goals for the district as we implement this program is we received enough funding to conduct approximately 500 to 700 home visits between October and January of 2026. We hope to reduce our chronic absenteeism from that current about 18.7% down to 14.2% or less. And we hope to reduce some of the disparities we see in subgroup attendance. So the basic structure for how we intend to implement this includes having our existing school attendance committees. They're going to identify students or families with attendance issues, and they'll be the ones who ultimately assign home visitors. We intend to have home visiting teams at each of our schools, and they'll be the ones that give the contact information to those home visiting teams. The district attendance committee is going to meet monthly. They're going to review attendance data and assign the number of monthly home visits. I'll be also submitting the timesheets and payment, and I'll be there to address any programmatic challenges, and I'll be doing that mostly through our district attendance committee work. So the implementation plan for now is we have a posting for home visitors that closed at 4 o'clock today. I'm happy to say that we had 37 applicants. Home visits we plan to start in October after our district attendance meeting. They'll go back with the number of home visits that we anticipate at each school.
I just want to say thank you for finding this grant money or applying for the grant and getting the money because it's definitely an issue here in Enfield, and I think with our larger class sizes and different things going on within our district that this is going to be needed more than ever, and it's a great way to connect with those families
Thank you so much for this overview. I know a lot about LEAP, and I'm excited to see that we will be participating. So I have a couple questions, and one actually leads nicely into that last question that Dr. Calnan asked, and you did a really good job describing, so nice job. But one of my wonders is when I hear about our current model of providing tiered supports for intervention, something like a letter to me really isn't an intervention, it's a notification. So I'm excited about being able to be connected to a network of folks, get some additional training, and have this help us think about how we can do things differently. So when you were talking about the home visits and the purpose and then the data collection, I'm interested in how the district will use those home visit logs to better understand the barriers to attendance and like what can we do differently to make sure kids can come to school successfully. My one wonder question is about the sustainability of this. So it is a grant. Has there been any conversation or kind of thinking about ways that we can ensure that this continues?
Financially, no. I don't know that there is a plan at this point. We haven't discussed one. It is a considerable amount of money to be part of it. So as this right now is funded through ARPA, if there was additional funding that came through from the state when ARPA funds end, we'd be happy to continue to offer it. If not, I think we would need to look at implementing some of these best practices that we learned through here in our internal systems.
The people that end up being the home visitors and the people on the attendance committee, after hours, are they getting paid like, you're doing this program, you're going to be paid a flat fee, or is it like per home visit? How does that work?
It's hourly.
Okay.
And this is, so we're paying, when we wrote it in the grant, we wrote it in as our hourly curriculum writing rate.
Okay.
So they have to submit a timesheet.
Okay.
And as part of that, they also have their home visit log. So that says who is the visitor, who is completing it, and that goes with their timesheet.
Awesome. And do we already have the grant money, like, started?
So the grant, yeah,
been
we have grant
approved?
allocation. So
We
the
have the
money
email?
is, the money's there.
Okay, good.
We can submit against it. Well, it's like in most grants, we're going to pay it through our payroll, and then we're going to receive the reimbursement for it.
Okay. All right. Was there anything else I had? Well, I mean, I'm excited to see this work. I know I see it on the news. Probably last month they were talking about giving additional funding. So I'm hoping that if we are successful, that the state will decide to continue funding it, and maybe we won't have to figure it out. Maybe it'll be presented to us. So thank you very much. I appreciate your presentation. It was great.
All right, thank you.
Cool. All right.